So we are making candied orange peel. For this recipe, you could use any kind of citrus, but today we're making orange peels. So I've got a pile of peeled orange here. You want to be very careful not to get too far down in the orange. You don't want much of the white part, the pith. So what we do is we just take a regular peeler and an orange. I like to wash my oranges well before I do this. And just simply pull it down. And try and get nice long strips. I find it looks really pretty. And your orange can be used afterwards. Just pop it back in the fridge and you can use it for something else afterwards. So we've got our orange peels here. What we need to do is blanch them. In this first pot, we've just got plain boiling water. Blanching them removes any bitterness from the orange. So you can pop them all in there at once. And just stir them around. It takes about 30 seconds in the first pot. So I'll let those sit for a few more seconds. And in this back pot here, I've got a simple syrup. So a simple syrup is made up of equal parts sugar and water. So I've got 1.5 cups of sugar and 1.5 cups of water. Just simply bring that up to a boil. And once our orange peels are finished blanching, we place them in our simple syrup. Gently, and it makes your whole kitchen smell amazing. And like I said, another kind of citrus fruit would work really well for this also. So just give those a little stir and then leave them for 10 minutes and they'll start to simmer. You want the water boiling a little bit, but not too much, just enough to cook the oranges. You can discard of the blanching water and then just allow this to cook. So our orange peels have been simmering for about 10 minutes now, and my whole kitchen smells wonderful. So I'm just going to grab a bowl with some sugar in it. It's about 1/2 or 1/3 a cup of sugar. And I'm going to bring it over to the stove. And you can pull your orange peels out and place them in the bowl. Try to tap off any extra liquid. And don't leave any of the peels behind. Now the liquid you've used to cook the orange peels in, you could save this if you want. You could make a nice drink with it, but normally I just get rid of it afterwards. So take your peels, toss them around in the sugar. You can use your hand if you want, but it gets a little warm if it's straight out of the liquid. So take a cooling tray or a cookie rack, works well also. And make sure your peels aren't too hot when you do this. I like to use my hands. Makes it a lot easier than trying to use a spoon. And just lay them out on the cookie tray or on the cooling rack. And it does get a little bit sticky. There's no way to avoid that really. So just leave them out to cool. It takes a couple hours, 2 to 4 hours. Usually to get a nice kind of crispiness to these, depending what you're using them for. So just lay them all out. You might need a bigger cookie tray or cooling rack, depending on what size. So finish laying these out. And then we've got our finished product. This is the end result after about 4 hours of drying. Once these have dried completely, store them in an airtight container or some sort of baggie tied up nice and tight, and you have these beautiful little orange peels that you can use for garnish. Visit atcoblueflamekitchen.com for more tips.